Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to be looking at the floor plans tab. Let's head there now. So basically what the floor plans tab is, where we can actually get a 2D view of our installation by looking at particular sections of the floor. Now, of course, this is better to do later on when we've actually done some analysis and we can actually do some graphical interpretation of the results. And doing a graphical interpretation of results in 2D proves to be quite effective and, in my view, better than doing it in 3D. Now let's have a look here. When we're greeted with the floors tabs panel, we have the option to select and edit multiple different elements and classifications that we may have on the floor. So here we have our zones. So if I click on zones, you can see that my zones here are classified by particular areas in my apartment building. Now these areas, these zones have been defined previously in our architectural modeler. So what we've done is I've modeled my building in my IFC builder, and I've also, if you guys have done the course, you'll remember that I've actually defined particular zones as having certain properties. Now those properties do get transposed into Eplus, but here we have a higher freedom and higher detailed input. So here, if I hover over the bedroom space, you can see here that I have the particular zone, and you can see here that it's not classified as anything yet. So I'm able to classify that here. Or the generic way to do it is, of course, starting off in the building tab, classifying my zones previously, and then coming here and doing a graphical interpretation. Now that can be, again, highlighted with the spaces tab. So here I'm looking at particular spaces. So here you have my zone. So this particular zone is the ground floor. That's the whole zone. My spaces are corresponding to the bedroom. So I can go into, for example, so this bedroom, this is bedroom level 1. It's the second bedroom. Clicking onto that, I can edit particular aspects of the design and the details. So the name, the library that it belongs to, the area is given to me. I can actually go into particular space types and then change them here as well. So not only am I expected to do it in the building tab, but I'm also, when I'm doing a graphical interpretation, I'm able to change those space types here. Now, of course, I have the option to make it occupied, and not defined. We're going to go through these 3 particular categories in the upcoming videos, but here, as you can see, I also have the functionality to change particular classifications and characteristics in the floor plans tab as well. So I don't always have to be going back into the buildings tab and changing my characteristics. Again, these 2 buttons here are something very, very important, and I want to stress this. When we're dealing with particular rooms having certain characteristics, those characteristics do change from project to project, but we can actually find some familiarities, and those familiarities are catered by the program. Are catered to by the program. So we have the option to export and import particular spaces. So by exporting that space, I'm able to save those specifications to my local drive, and later on, when I need those details and I want to save time, basically, I can import them. And I can go into the directory, go into my library, and import those particular specifications. And all these specifications get imported. So if the particular bedroom is occupied, all the schedules of use and ventilation, lighting, people, internal equipment that is present in there, like lights and things such as that, of fans, sorry. Not lights, fans and things such as that. You can see the lighting is already here. I'm able to specify that. We're going to go into much more detail about this later on, this particular tab, this particular option here. Let's move on. Again, here we have again the option is carried out further with walls. Particularly, I can look at particular walls, look at the type of wall, and things such as that. The floor slabs as well. I can look at particular floor slabs, right, and amend those, and the fenestration as well. So looking at particular openings that we have and the analysis of those. Now this button here, the graphical display of results, I haven't analyzed the project yet, so I'm not going to get any graphical analysis yet. We will come back to this later. Again, the update and the connection button. Now, basically here when we have the floor plans, we're able to look at particular zones in our project. You can see here I have my particular zones here that I'm able to, that the program actually highlights and takes me to particular sections of the zone and highlights them on my 2D view as well, so I'm never lost. You can see here the external wall. Even if I go into the external wall, you can see the external wall also has a window, and I'm able to amend those particular options as well if I want in the 2D view as well. I'm also greeted with a highlighted section. You can see here the external wall. If I go in there, the window, and you can see that the window is highlighted with in that yellowish gold color. So particular options I have here is finding elements and finding areas within my building, and also getting a representation of them as well. This will make more sense later on when we do an analysis and we actually go in there, go into our buildings tab, and we specify all our particular elements to a greater detail. And that's basically it for this tab. Another thing I wanted to mention that I didn't mention before in the previous video, you can see that well, sorry, in the previous video, it's not there, but we should mention it now. We have, again, those viewing options as well. So again, previous windows, full view, all my viewing options, my painting options, printing options as well. I can print this selected view that I have here if I wanted to. We also have the DXF and templates view manager as well. So if you do have some templates, you can import those as well quite easily. I can import them here. I'm not going to import them now because, as you can remember, I've optioned the templates generation from the IFC file, so I don't need those now. But again, if you had particular DWG or DXF files, you can import those here as well quite easily. Again, with those, once you've imported those, we have particular options to move selected items, amend the selected areas in the tab, import templates to a particular job, saving, obtaining GXF as well, quite easily. We'll go through that a bit later. Moving on, we have some object snap options as well, which we don't really use here, but again, they are here as well. So looking at the different interaction our cursor has with the model, I'm going to leave those all off for us. Again, I have object references as well. I'm able to amend those here as well. I'm going to leave them as here, leaving the perpendicular off. As well, I'm also able to insert a grid in the background. I'm also able to snap to grid as well if I wanted to. I'm going to leave those all off. Coordinate introduction as well. So here I'm able to introduce certain coordinates. Now again, when we import from IFC, the program will automatically introduce its own coordinate system unless you tell it otherwise. So for instance, if we had, in our DXF, in our drawing 2D tab, we had the coordinate origin as 1000, 2000 or something like this, the program will recognize that, and it will want to simplify that down to 0, 1000 or something like this. 0, 1. And we'll be able to do that. And of course, in that previous tab, when we're importing, we'll be able to change it. Here we can also have the option for allowing dimensions to be defined, orthogonality tools for inserting, polar tracking, and configuration of particular mouse cursors, snap cursors, control points, and grids and dimensions and things such as that. Moving on, we have our units. Here I can amend each particular unit. here, you can see as well, we have this blue arrow here. If I click on that, we have the option for the international system and the IP system. So amending those, and those will change all the units corresponding to that particular system. Now, we can also save them as default settings and then use the default settings if we've defined them previously. Again, if we work with particular units, we can export the units details and then at a later date import them if we need them again. So again, if you use particular units that you like using, that you're familiar with, you don't need to, every time you open Eplus, go into the units and define them. You can actually come over here, import them easily, and you're ready to start working. Again, I've already mentioned this previously. Let's have a look, what's happening. Okay, again, here we have the printing options, document textiles, drawings, we can look at a bit later. Details, we can send the job, we can have we can amend the background color. 3D performance again, with the options to improve the 3D performance, undo and redo options, and automatic saving options. Moving on, again, we'll go through, I've already been through this. Project documentation is easily accessible here as well. All right, so that's basically the floor plans tab. Basically just going through an overview of the project, of the environment. And it's quite easy to understand that the program gives us a really easy to use environment that we're able to make some effective analysis on. So what I'm going to do now, because we haven't actually analyzed the job yet, because we haven't defined it, I'm going to leave the analysis to the end. And what I'm going to do now in the next video is go into our buildings tab and start looking at how we would begin a classification, an energy classification and analysis of a particular building. In this case, my Udemy apartments here. All right, guys, see you guys in the next video. Bye.